Hey y'all, it's y'all favorite cozy girl, Chi the Reality Queen, and I am back again with another episode of Robe Chronicles. Tonight, we're going to be talking about Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 9, Episode 5. And we start off exactly where we ended with the last episode. Mia is trying to, talk about Karen and this mystery man that she said that the girls don't know she's not with Ray or whatever. And she's like, I'm only coming for Karen because she called my girl a liar, referencing Jacqueline. And honestly, her relationship with Jacqueline is getting weird. Like, okay, that's your friend, but think it's getting weird. And it's funny because it's like, why are you calling out Karen 3 years after the fact? And it's funny because Karen was like, that's okay. You can call me out, but that doesn't change the fact that Jacqueline's still a liar. And I'm like, please whack her over the head again because what does that have anything to do? Like, you're calling me out because to cover for Jacqueline, but does that change the fact that Jacqueline lied? No. It doesn't change the fact. It doesn't distract from the fact. Like, we have been talking about Karen and another man since like season 2 or even season 1, I think. So bringing that up and it's 3-year-old T, Mia, bye. Try again. Um, so then, and I love it because Stacy is like, okay, well, Mia, why were you holding on to this for 3 years? And she's like, well, Karen's never called my friend a liar before. But she was beefing with you last season. So why didn't you call her out then? And the other girl that tried to jump in and defend Mia, like, I don't know if Mia called all her friends or all the people that she knows before this season aired and was like, I will get you screen time. I will get you a little bit of fame. I don't know. But it kind of seems like she did that because everybody around Mia is acting weird, like in a bad way, weird, like overproduced weird. I don't like it. I think they should. Y'all, I don't even know how many times I have said that I like Mia. And I think that Mia was a good cast choice. Was. I think Mia has gone so far off the deep end recently that she gotta go. She either gotta reel it back to where she was, lying and a little delusional, than where she is now, where she thinks she's such a star that she has to like keep that energy, and that energy is tacky. Yeah. Um, then after the dinner, oh, but while they're at their dinner, like the ladies try to show some concern, like, how are you and Ray? Asking Karen. And Karen's like, they had issues, but they're good. I mean, the truth is, Ray is 70 something years old. Karen, or 80, right? He's 20 years older than Karen. So he's 80 something years old. Karen is 60 something or whatever. Or, yeah, 61. Like, they might have issues, but those two people are not separating. They're going to work through it because they're old. I mean, life is whatever. If Karen has to go get somebody on the side or Ray has to go get somebody on the side, that's fine. But they're old enough that those two people will remain together. It's the reason why G was trying to make a little situation for him and Mia because he knows he's old. Like, I don't want to leave you. I don't want to have to start over or try to find somebody new. I just want to work it out with you because I'm old and tired and I don't want to have to keep going through this. Um, which I agree people should do what works for them. Um, so then Jacqueline, Mia, and Ashley meet kind of after the dinner and they're talking about like Mia's like, well, I have to defend my girl and whatever, whatever. And Ashley was like, you're the real MVP. And it's like, Ashley, she called out 3-year-old T and that makes her the MVP. Like, Ashley, you should go too. You and Mia should get on the same train and go. Like, neither one of your services are needed anymore. Um, and then Stacy um called TJ, her man, and was like, talking to him. And I think Stacy's very sweet. And I think how she's approaching this relationship is very sweet. It comes off that she's really crushing on the man. Now, I don't know if he feels the same way about her. I don't. I can't say that. Like, he seems like a nice guy, so that's not what I'm trying to say, but it seems like when they're trying to kind of talking and being flirtatious or she's being flirtatious, that's not the same energy he's like returning to her. Um and but she does say she wants to share more about him with the girls and talk more about their relationship. And I mean, I think being on a reality show, obviously Stacey is not used to that, but that's the tea we do want to know. Um she calls Wendy and Jazzy over to kind of talk to him like over the FaceTime and whatever. Um, and I mean, again, he comes off as a very sweet guy, but I don't know. I really don't know. And I hope he does like Jazzy because Jazzy seems, I mean, Jazzy, Stacy. Um, I hope he does like Stacy because I feel like Stacy really likes him. She talks about him like she got a crush, like for real. Like I have a crush on this man and I'm doing all the little cute little childish type feelings and emotions and things that you do when you have that type of schoolyard crush. But he doesn't respond in kind, in my opinion. Um, Everybody's waiting up till midnight because it's Wendy's birthday, and she's just really appreciative and grateful. And you could see the growth in Wendy and how she's trying to navigate getting into 40. Like she's just really grateful. And I kind of like that energy for Wendy. Like I feel like she has been fighting for so long on this show, like fighting to be respected, to be whatever, and she hasn't really been at peace. And I feel like we're seeing a more peaceful Wendy, I think. Like I think that's what it is. Like not having to fight every episode for yourself or for what's right. You're more peaceful, and she's coming off way more peaceful this couple episodes because we're only on 5. I think the season usually ends around 17. So but 5 episodes in, she seems much more peaceful. um yeah, so then the next morning, everybody stays up, they celebrate Wendy, it's really cool. The next morning, we see Mia and Jacqueline by the pool, and Mia's complaining about Gordon like blowing her up and calling and complaining. And I'm like, I was glad that Jacqueline did call her out and say to her, like, girl, you are doing those things. Um, I feel like Mia at this point is trying to have her cake and eat it too, is kind of how it's coming off. Like, you want Gordon for the drama, but you want Ink to be your man. And I don't know. I feel like she's kind of exploiting Gordon's mental illness a little bit as well. Like she keeps kind of referring to it and talking about it and kind of like, but not in the light that I think is like, here's this issue. These are the issues that come with it. And this is how we're dealing. It's almost, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but I don't like the feeling that I'm getting when she talks about Gordon and his sickness. Like it doesn't feel good. Um, then we see Giselle's daughters graduating. It was very cute. Again, we talk about it all the time. I talk about it all the time. Giselle, her family, her daughters, even in that relation with Jamal Bryant, like, it's all very cute, very lovely. I think it's always a breath of fresh air. I think when we see some of the kids, it's always like a little breath of fresh air. Giselle's, especially because we've watched these girls grow up. I think Angel and Adore were 7 or 8, like I said. So it's really cute to see them graduate. Um, they eat breakfast for Wendy's birthday. Mia tells them that she's going to take them to the first doctor's office that she opened in North Carolina, the joint chiropractic. I say doctor's office, but first joint chiropractic. And honestly, I have a joint chiropractic by my house, and I'm going to Google to see who owns it because I feel like Mia is like, she wants to believe she's way more important in this business. I'm convinced actually that she wants to believe she's way more important and integral to the joint chiropractic than she really is. Like she says she did marketing, then she said this, now she I I don't know, but her story doesn't make so much sense. And like I need someone to pull the papers out. Like, because I feel like they don't hold her feet to the fire like that. And maybe because everybody just assumes that she's lying. Like everybody has kind of the feeling that Mia's just always lying. So I think that's why they leave her. But I'm like, no, you kind of have to like stamp this out. Like she is now like a wildfire that you were like, oh, maybe it'll take itself out. Like if we take away the oxygen. But no, like you have to like actively work to put this fire out that is lying Mia. Like, you know, Giselle FaceTimes Wendy to say happy birthday and saying that she'll be there, later to celebrate or whatever. And I'm like, wow. It's funny because I saw somebody on Twitter say, like, oh, Giselle hasn't changed. She's the same person. But I feel like Giselle has changed a lot. I think the person she was before her father passed and who she is portraying herself as now, and I think it's her. I don't think it's like a fake or anything. I think she found out with her father passing, which I think death does to most of us, is we're not invincible. So it doesn't, you don't gain being nasty and mean and unkind to people like when the option to be kind is right there. So I think she kind of maybe is getting that or whatever because she's definitely being much nicer. Um then Kay said Karen needs to break at the table this at breakfast. She's like, oh, you need to, Karen needs a little bit of a break because y'all was going at her. But look, T that's 3 years old or whatever. And Mia is like, oh, I don't think Karen was mad. She just, she's here and I now have a flute. Or she says something about a flute, but then she tries to insinuate, or she says, like, Kay, you're still working on getting yours or whatever. And Kay was like, girl, I don't need a flute. Like, but it's like, okay, you may not need one, baby, but you want one. Like, okay, you may not need a flute. Okay, but you want one. But and at that time, it's an interesting hit because Kay didn't have a flute, right? Kay was a last minute addition. She snatched the flute from Jazzy. So it's kind of interesting that probably all of that drama is what helped her secure her flute. Then Mia's like, well, you want to talk about your drug dealing ex boyfriend? In that moment, I realized that Kay is much, much better than me because I'm a I'm gonna get in the gutter with you. Cause if you wanna get in the gutter, I I would have been like, how you know your mama tell you? Was she a client? Oh, I would have been so far in the gutter. Me and that clown from the movie It would have been chilling. I I'd have been so when they go low, baby, I'm in hell. I can't. My mouth is too slick. It would have been quick. I probably would have felt bad afterwards, but it would have come out so quickly that I'd have been like, ooh, I would have oohed myself. Like, wait, relax. But because man, what are you talking about? Like, and then here comes Ashley trying to hop in, talking about, well, that is the rumor on the street, Kay, that you had a drug dealing or you are in a relationship. And she's like, my current boyfriend is a licensed marriage and family therapist, so, or a social worker or whatever he is. And she's like, so no, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'm just like, they really was trying to come for her. Like, I feel like they had like planned that because they always, and that's the funny thing is they always try to be like, oh, well, that's the rumor. Like, there are rumors about the housewives that, everybody knows, right? Like Juan when he was stepping out on Robin and all this type of stuff. But like, if y'all heard that rumor about Kay's man, maybe because she was a last minute add on and people haven't really been doing the digging that they need to be doing. But if y'all know or if you heard that rumor, please get at me in the comments because I want to know if that's stuff that people really heard because I had never heard that about Kay. I mean, I'm not from Potomac, I'm not from Maryland, whatever, but is that a rumor going around Maryland? Is that what people are saying about Kay? I don't know. Because it doesn't see, I mean, and yes, she's only been with her new man 2 years, but 2 years is quite a bit of time for us to still be worrying about a drug dealer of her past. Um, and then, but it's funny because Kay did hop back. She didn't go as low as I would have liked her to, but she's like, well, what about your past? Being a stripper, girl. And she's like, well, I wasn't in the street. And she goes, I don't get more street than that. Because, baby, a stripper just, they street too. Ain't nothing is wrong with the profession, but baby girl, let's not act like you was, you know, not of the street being a stripper. You were, okay? Um and it was so funny cuz she was like Stacy's in the confessional like is was Mia really a stripper? That's true. I think Stacy is so unintentionally funny. Like I know that innocent act really can only last one season because once you're in it, you're in it. But right now, it is her best quality and it is hilarious because she be shading people with that. Um, and she was like, "Oh, you're street because that's why you got stitches and something like that." That's what Mia says to Kay. And Kay was like, "Girl, you're not that far off. You assaulted Wendy. Why?" And I hate that we tried to gloss over that because it's like, girl, yes, you're talking about stitches, but she was reacting. You assaulted Wendy just because she said that you slept with Peter, which you probably did. So like I'm not understanding how you gonna call her street, but you assaulted Wendy. You are street. And they should have gotten rid of you after that. But Wendy was probably nice enough to say, I don't need security to go everywhere with Mia, but whatever. And then, so funny because Jacqueline then tries to defend Mia because, Mia has been defending Jacqueline and now Jacqueline got to defend Mia. And Wendy was like, hell nah, like, we not finna do that. Um, then Ashley's dumb self decides to ask Kay about her scar. And Kay freaking loses it. Like, she's like, you not finna ask me about my scar. You not finna ask me about my scar. And she starts crying. She gets up and she's angry. She walks out of the room and Wendy follows her. Now, I know a lot of people have been talking about how they don't think Wendy and Kay are that close, but nothing that has happened this season would make me think that they aren't close. Everything and every interaction, yes, they're not sitting next to each other or whatever, but I think that's planned by production. But they seem like they're actually good friends and they get along well. So I don't know what made you guys think that, but I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing people who are friends. Um, and then Ashley's like, "Oh, I was just asking an innocent question because she says she's an esthetician and she does this and that." And girl, shut up. Shut up. You're annoying as F. Like, you are not innocent. You are trying to be messy. And when someone went off on you, once again, you try to hide your hand like you do every single time. And here's the thing 9 seasons in, it's old. It's old and no one's falling for it. Like, girl, you're raggedy. Then I love because Jassy was like, Ashley, do you wear glasses? And Ashley's like, no, why? She goes, because you could see the scars right there. Like it's very obvious. And I'm like, thank you, because y'all gotta start clocking Ashley. Like, do not let her feel comfortable saying the dumb shit that she's been saying for 9 seasons. Like, you have to stamp it out. And I'm glad that people are now holding her feet to the fire. Um, then Stacy's like, well, I need to try to bring the spirit of positivity to this place. And, Kay comes back and she tells Ashley not to bring up shit about her, which I agree. Like, your friend is the one that assaulted me. I'm suing her. Like, why are you trying to play in my face right now? And I think that's Ashley's game. Ashley's game. And I think, let me say this I think Ashley thinks she can get away with it because she's cute, she's light skinned, she's young. And so she thinks that's a game that she can continue playing. But she's not that cute. She's not that young anymore. I mean, she's still light skinned, but it's like that's a 20-year-old type of game. Like you're 30 something, you have two kids. Like that little hit somebody and hide your hand is like, I mean, throw something and hide your hand. It's not going to keep working. Like you can't keep playing that same game. People are starting to call you out. You're not the youngest person at the table. Like it's not gonna work. And I think she thought it worked for a long time. And she got her little old man and she was able to say and do whatever. It's like, but now, no, people are gonna hold you to it. Um, then Karen was like, can I be a little messy, you guys? And here's the thing. That's not Karen's role. Like Karen is not the person to randomly bring up mess. She tries to bring it in a little differently, but she brings it up and she asks Jacqueline about her man. And Jacqueline's like, oh, we're or PP, parental partner, or something like that. And she was like, we're working on it and da 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 da, we're good. And she was like, Karen was like, is that after the 25 convictions you decided to stand by him? Now, Jacqueline, if you knew that somewhere in your closet of bones, you had a baby father with 25 convictions, you should not have been talking about Karen's 8 or 3 or whatever it was. You should have shut your mouth and kept it closed. Like, girl, what were you thinking? Because here's the thing, Karen wasn't going to talk about your man, but you try to talk about her. So now she got to come after you and expose this man who really ain't did nothing. And now he's got to be exposed. And not only did she get exposed, everybody was shocked. Everybody was like, even Mia's face was like, because you could tell Mia was not. I don't know if she didn't think that Karen was going to bring that up because I feel like that's tea that she probably gave. Um, but even she looked a little shocked when it was brought up. And then Ashley was like, yeah, but basically, sorry, Wendy was like, wait, not you trying to call out my friend Kay for her drug dealing past, her man, her ex that was like a drug dealer or whatever, when you got a man who has 25 convictions. And here comes Ashley like, oh, everybody has a past. And Wendy's like, now everybody has a past. And Stacy was like, everybody has a past. I don't know why that was so funny for me, but I cackled at that point. But it's true. It's like when it's convenient for them, everybody has a pass. Oh, it's not a big deal. But when it's against you, oh, your man used to be a drug dealer, and that's the worst thing in the world because you a street hood girl. I don't care if Jacqueline's ex was a police officer. In fact, that's even worse. Okay. Even worse. Because I know that if they convicted a police officer of committing 25 crimes, it was so heinous they couldn't overlook it because they don't really be getting them like that. So if he was convicted of 25 crimes, Jacqueline, he is even worse than we thought he was because there was probably more that they didn't account for. And then they even charged him. So, Jacqueline, I don't want to hear it. And then she starts crying, talking about it's so rude to bring up someone who isn't even at the table. And it's like, girl, that's exactly what you guys were doing to Kay and an ex that she's not even with anymore. So how dare you turn around and start trying to act like it was rude and this and that? And saying that, oh, this is defamation and blah, blah, blah. And Wendy was like, no, it can't be defamation now. When y'all was doing it and you and Mia was tag teaming, it wasn't defamation. It was cool. It was funny. It's still funny. Okay. It's still funny now that it's the shoe is on the other foot and it's yo man. Like Jacqueline, I don't think she's ready to be at these tables. Like, I liked her first season. I don't know what changed. There's something, obviously, after her and Mia had beef in her relationship that has changed and she has gotten really weird. But she was not like that at all the first time she came around. She was more chill. And I think I said this before, but I think she thought she would find her own way in. And when she didn't, and it's now really dependent exclusively on Mia, I think that's what changed her. Um, and then Jacqueline's like practically crying or whatever, and she's like, I'm done with Karen because she goes low. Okay. You didn't think trying to insinuate that someone with a court case around a DUI called you drunk wasn't low? Baby girl, that's low. So when she brings up your man with 25 convictions, I think she's at the appropriate level of low to match your low. I mean, that's just my belief. Um, then they go, everybody separates because Mia, Karen, and Jazzy are in the kitchen, and Jazzy's like, girl, what's tea or whatever? And Kay is like, Mia looks like she got rocks thrown at her face. And girl, you should have said that at the table. Because when you was talking about your face being glass and this after the scar and whatever, you should have told Mia. And you know what? I feel like everybody be tiptoeing around that crater face she has. They be tiptoeing around it. No one really directly talks about it, but her skin is horrendous. And you would think with, or maybe she's working on it. Let me shut up because she might be working on it and it's just not working, right? Like, I don't, whatever she's done or whatever she's tried, this is probably maybe the best possible outcome for how her face can look after all of that. So I'm going to shut up. But if she talked about me, I'd bring it up because, girl, you're absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're not over here looking like one of the 9 planets talking shit. It's not going to happen. But that's me. That's me. I think Kay should have brought it up to her face, but she was trying to be nice. And I think, if that's the best, if that's what she's worked on, then she should be nice. I don't think it should be anything that's brought up. Um, and then in the other room, Jacqueline, Ashley, and Mia are talking and trying to be messy, talking about Karen's case and like, oh, she's this and that, and it's 8 convictions and whatever. And Stacy approached them basically like, why are they having a hard on for Karen? Like, why are you stressing her? And then they're like, well, look at all these convictions. This is who you're defending. And it's like, girl, okay, I'm sorry what Karen did, if did it and she's guilty and whatever, then that was wrong. I don't agree with anybody driving around drunk, but I don't know if drunk driving with no incident is a reason to cut off a friend. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. Maybe y'all disagree with me, but I don't think so. I don't think so. I just don't think so. I've never had a DUI, but I'm just saying I don't think that is it because I think a lot of people make mistakes. I do think that. And if you are lucky enough to be without incident, because it's not everybody's not lucky. I mean, some things happen and obviously you should mitigate it and not drive drunk. But if that happens and you're like, okay, you know what? I did this, I messed up, you know, I could still be your friend. And basically, they're over there talking like, oh, this is who you're defending. And we're just concerned about her and we're worried. And they're like, oh, we want to maybe take her to rehab. It's so funny because you could tell when Ashley realized that they had gone too far because Ashley's eyes was like, rehab. Wait a minute, girls. We did not talk about that because Ashley is always there for a key and to be messy. But saying that you want to help her and get her to rehab, that's taking it to a level that I think even Ashley was like, we're not there. That's not who we are, and we are not that good of people. So let's quit the games. And you could tell she immediately was like, well, I'm gonna leave because you guys are talking and that's not true. You guys are trying to be messy and you're bringing up this rehab thing just to be even more messy. And no, and Stacy, being Stacy, because she is like, okay, Karen is my friend, walks out of that room and walks straight to Karen and brings it up. She's like, hey, I am going to defend you, but these charges are concerning. And I don't know how concerned to be because these girls are saying they want to take you to rehab. Should I be worried about you? And I mean, I think Stacey did the right thing. I think we are missing that a little bit more in these housewives. The person that's really has your back, and as soon as they hear something, they come straight to you like, wait a minute, girl, what's going on? I'm not going to wait till next episode. I'm not going to wait till 3 weeks down the line. I'm going to ask you here and now and see what you got to say. So, Karen is sitting there like, oh, is that what they said? Whatever. But she takes it on the chin, and that's pretty much where the episode ends. Um, I just think that this episode was really good. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that we barely finished like brunch, the day hasn't even really happened, and the episode's already ending. We spent 30 minutes at the brunch table. Like, I think Potomac is doing well. But I do think that they still can make some trades in characters and people, without ruining the show. I do think so. Um, but I think the dynamic is okay right now. I think that they're bringing some shade, some energy, but also the positivity needed because the girls still came together for Wendy and celebrated with her through the night. I mean, would I want Mia to ever plan me a birthday trip? Hell no. But if the show is requiring it, then, whatever. At least they got together to be peaceful and positive going into Wendy's 40th. But yeah, what are you guys thinking? What are you guys thinking about the newbies, Jazzy and Stacy? Um, do you think that Ashley's kind of over overstaying on her welcome on this show? Like, is she really not needed anymore? What are you guys thinking? Was Giselle really missed in this episode, right? Could the show continue without Giselle? Like, what are you thinking? What do you see? Please like, comment, subscribe, and share with your friends who also watch Potomac. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.